Seoul, a city where ancient temples meet futuristic skylines and every corner offers something unforgettable. But navigating this vibrant metropolis without a plan? That's a one-way ticket to confusion and chaos. Don't worry, I've got you covered. By the end of this video, you'll know 10 essential tips to make your Seoul adventure smooth, fun, and memorable. From subway hacks to cultural etiquette and the best spots for street food, you'll learn everything you need to know. Stick around for a bonus tip at the end, you won't want to miss it. Now, let's kick things off with our first tip: understanding local customs and etiquette. Because blending in starts with knowing what not to do. Tip 1. Research local customs and etiquette when visiting Seoul. The last thing you want to do is stand out for the wrong reasons. Imagine being the only one clapping in a K-pop concert during a heartfelt ballad moment. That's how it feels to break cultural norms in South Korea. Researching local customs isn't just about avoiding awkward stares, it's about respecting a culture that's rich in history and traditions. Plus, blending in like a pro will have locals mistaking you for a K-drama star, well, almost. First, let's talk chopsticks. They're not drumsticks, magic wands, or, heaven forbid, something you stab into a bowl of rice. In Korean culture, sticking chopsticks vertically into rice symbolizes offerings for the deceased. Not exactly the vibe you're going for at dinner. Bowing is another biggie. Whether you're saying hello, goodbye, or thank you, a slight bow is the way to go. But don't overdo it, you're not auditioning for a role as a bobblehead. Lastly, be mindful of noise levels. While Seoul is a lively city, loud public conversations can come off as impolite. Keep it chill, and let the city's buzz do the talking. Trust me, respecting these customs will make your Seoul experience smoother than a BTS ballad. Now that you're armed with the etiquette essentials, let's level up your Seoul game with tip number 2. Learn basic Korean phrases. Because who doesn't want to impress the locals with a perfect "annyeonghaseyo"? Tip 2. Learn basic Korean phrases. Let's face it, learning a new language can feel like climbing Mount Everest with flip-flops on. But when it comes to Seoul, a few basic Korean phrases can be your ultimate travel hack. Not only will it help you navigate the city, but it also shows respect for the local culture. Plus, nothing warms the hearts of Koreans more than a foreigner attempting their language, however hilariously wrong it might sound at first. Just be prepared for a polite giggle if your "annyeonghaseyo" sounds more like a sneeze than a greeting. So, what phrases should you focus on? Start with the essentials: "annyeonghaseyo," hello, "감사합니다," thank you, and "주세요," please give me. These little gems will help you charm your way through markets, restaurants, and pretty much anywhere. Want to order that mouth-watering bulgogi or bingsu? Just point at it and say, "Igyo juseyo," this, please. It's like magic, polite, delicious magic. Bonus points if you nail "iolmayo," how much, which might save you from an accidental splurge on a souvenir you didn't even want. The beauty of learning these phrases isn't just practical, it's the instant connection it creates. Locals will appreciate the effort, even if your accent makes it sound like you're auditioning for a comedy show. And hey, it's all part of the adventure. So, dust off those flashcards or download a language app, because speaking a little Korean goes a long way in turning your trip into an unforgettable experience. Now that you're armed with your shiny new Korean phrases, let's tackle another Seoul essential: conquering the city's legendary public transportation system in tip number 3. Plan your transportation. Tip 3. Plan your transportation. Seoul's public transportation system isn't just a way to get from point A to point B. It's a finely tuned symphony of efficiency, complete with soothing announcement voices and color-coded subway lines that are as mesmerizing as a rainbow after a summer rain. The Seoul subway is a traveler's dream, covering every nook and cranny of the city. Just don't let the map intimidate you. It might look like a plate of spaghetti at first, but trust me, once you figure it out, you'll feel like a certified local. Oh, and don't forget your T-Money card. It's your golden ticket to buses, subways, and even taxis. Speaking of subways, let me warn you, during rush hour, it's a battle of strategy and agility. It's like playing Tetris but with people. You'll learn to wedge yourself into a packed train and feel victorious when you score a coveted seat. Pro tip: stand on the right side of the escalator unless you want to experience the wrath of hurried commuters. And whatever you do, don't block the subway doors, It's a rookie mistake that earns you the infamous side-eye from every Ajuma, elderly lady, in a 10-foot radius. Getting around Seoul doesn't have to be daunting. Buses are another excellent option, especially for those hard-to-reach areas. Download navigation apps like Kakao Map or Naver Map, and you'll be zipping around town faster than a K-pop idol running from paparazzi. With a little planning and a lot of patience, you'll be navigating Seoul's transportation like a seasoned pro. Now that you're a public transportation ninja, let's talk about where to rest your weary travel feet. On to tip number 4, choosing the right accommodation. Tip 4. Choose the right accommodation when it comes to picking where you'll crash after a day of soul searching. Pun intended. The options are as diverse as a Korean barbecue buffet. Are you a budget traveler who doesn't mind bunking with strangers in a lively hostel? Or maybe you're the, give me my king-sized bed and endless room service type, in which case luxury hotels in Gangnam are calling your name. And for the adventurous souls out there, a traditional Hanok stay in Bukchon village lets you live like royalty from the Joseon dynasty, floor heating included. Now, location is everything in Seoul. Want to party till dawn and still stumble back to your place without needing a GPS degree? Look for spots in Hongdae or Itaewon. If you're more about serene vibes and cultural exploration, Insadong or Jonggo might be your jam. Oh, and make sure to check if your accommodation is near a subway station, unless you enjoy playing hide and seek with taxis during rush hour. Pro tip. Some budget accommodations might come with free Wi-Fi but paper-thin walls. So, if you're not into overhearing your neighbor's K-drama marathon, choose wisely. The key to finding the perfect stay in Seoul is striking a balance between comfort, convenience, and budget. Remember, your room is your retreat after a day of exploring palaces, slurping down jjajangmyeon, and dodging selfie sticks in Myeongdong. Speaking of planning, let's move on to tip 5. Create a flexible itinerary, because a well-thought-out game plan is the secret sauce to making the most of your trip. Stick around. Tip 5. Create a flexible itinerary when planning your Seoul adventure. Think of your itinerary like a K-pop album. It needs structure, but with enough room for those surprise bonus tracks. Sure, it's great to have a plan. Hit the must-see spots like Gyeongbokgung Palace, Namsan Tower, and the bustling streets of Myeongdong, but don't let a rigid schedule turn your trip into a military operation. You're in Seoul to enjoy, not to feel like a contestant on a high-stakes travel game show. Seoul is a city that rewards spontaneity. You might be on your way to the Bukchon Hanok village when you stumble upon a hidden cafe serving the fluffiest soufflé pancakes. Or maybe you'll find yourself swept into a lively street performance in Insadong. Leave gaps in your day for these unplanned moments. They're often the ones that make your trip unforgettable. Just remember, a flexible itinerary is your secret weapon against burnout. Nobody wants to be the tourist who cries in a convenience store because they overscheduled themselves. So, strike a balance. Have a list of your must-dos but leave room for the unexpected magic that Seoul offers at every turn. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Speaking of magic, nothing brings more joy than Seoul's mouthwatering cuisine. Let's move on to tip number 6, where we'll dive into the delicious world of Korean food and how to navigate the dining scene like a pro. Speaking of magic, nothing brings more joy than Seoul's mouthwatering cuisine. Let's move on to tip number 6, where we'll dive into the delicious world of Korean food and how to navigate the dining scene like a pro. Tip 6. Try local cuisine. Alright, let's get down to the most important part of your trip, eating your way through Seoul. Seriously, if you're not eating like a local, are you even really experiencing the city? From savory stews to crispy fried chicken, Seoul is a food lover's paradise. You'll want to get cozy with dishes like bibimbap, a rice bowl that's basically a party in a bowl, kimchi jjigae, spicy kimchi stew, and samgyeopsal, grilled pork belly, aka bacon's cooler cousin. And don't forget to have some tteokbokki, spicy rice cakes, for a snack that will make your taste buds do the cha-cha. Now, let's talk about the dining etiquette. First off, you're going to be living off street food. Trust me, you'll see those hot dog-shaped fish cakes and think, I need that in my life. But when you're at a sit-down meal, here's the deal. Don't expect to have your own plate. Oh no, Seoul's all about sharing. You'll get a bunch of side dishes to dive into, but don't hog them all, okay? It's a bit like a big family dinner, minus the awkward cousin talk. And if you're in a barbecue restaurant, Remember, your grill will need constant babysitting. Don't be shy to ask the server for help if things get smoky. But wait, there's more. A trip to Seoul would be incomplete without hitting up a pojangmatcha street food cart. Think of it as Seoul's version of fast food, but 1000x better. Get your hands on some hotteok, sweet pancakes, or if you're feeling brave, try some live octopus. Yes, the tentacles might still be moving, but that's what makes it an experience. Just don't be surprised if your friends start filming your reaction, trust me, they will. So, eat, savor, and remember, calories don't count in Seoul, or do they? Okay, now that you've had your fill of delicious local eats, let's make sure you don't get lost while you're on your food tour. On to tip number 7, stay connected. Tip 7. Stay connected. Alright, let's talk about something that might sound a little boring but is absolutely essential, staying connected. I mean, unless you want to pretend like you're living in the Stone Age, it's kind of important to have access to the internet. Think about it. How else are you going to get directions when you accidentally take a wrong turn in the back alleys of Gangnam and end up in a very confusing situation? Or, more importantly, how will you survive without Google Maps to point you to the nearest barbecue joint when hunger strikes? Spoiler alert, you won't. Now, you've got a few options for staying connected in Seoul, and it's not as complicated as you might think. First up, you can rent a pocket Wi-Fi device at the airport, which gives you unlimited access to the internet on the go. It's like having a personal Wi-Fi hotspot in your pocket, minus the awkward moment when you have to explain that pocket Wi-Fi isn't a new dance move. Or, if you're more of a let's make life easy type, you can grab a SIM card at the airport. You'll be all set to stream your favorite K-drama, share your perfect selfies, and, of course, Google, how do I get to Seoul Tower again? Lastly, don't underestimate the power of a solid internet connection. Seriously, it's the lifeline that'll help you order food, avoid getting lost, and maybe even discover the best spot to buy that quirky K-pop memorabilia you never knew you needed. So, before you venture off into the bustling streets of Seoul, get yourself hooked up to Wi-Fi, and keep the lost tourist look to a minimum. Now that you're all set up with Wi-Fi, let's talk about something even more crucial. Tip 8. Be mindful of the weather. Tip 8. Be mindful of the weather. The weather in Seoul. Let's just say it has more moods than your favorite K-drama character. If you're traveling to Seoul, it's essential to know that the weather can switch from perfectly sunny to I'm going to make you regret not packing an umbrella faster than you can say kimchi. Summer is hot, humid, and full of the kind of sweat that makes you wish you packed more deodorant. Meanwhile, winters? Well, let's just say Seoul doesn't mess around. It's like stepping into a freezer, so don't even think about leaving the hotel without a coat thick enough to make you look like a walking marshmallow. Now, about packing. Remember that the weather can be as unpredictable as your internet connection during a K-drama binge, so it's always best to be prepared for anything. In the summer, pack lightweight clothes, but also throw in a raincoat because, trust me, a sudden downpour is more common than you'd expect. If you're heading there in winter, layer up. You'll need everything from thermal shirts to scarves that could double as blankets. But here's a pro tip. A cute hat or two for the summer will not only save you from sunburn but will also help you fit in with all the stylish locals walking around like they just stepped out of a fashion magazine. So, whether you're soaking up the sun or trying to survive Seoul's winter chill, being prepared for the weather will keep you from regretting your packing decisions. Now, with all that packing and planning, you don't want to get caught off guard when it comes to spending your hard-earned cash, right? Well, here comes tip number 9. Ready to handle your money like a pro in Seoul? Let's dive into tip number 9, understanding currency and payment methods. Tip 9. Understand currency and payment methods. Alright, let's talk about money, because, well, you can't exactly buy your way into Seoul's best spots with Starbucks gift cards. Sorry, not sorry. South Korea uses the South Korean won, KRW, which is kind of like the little sibling to the almighty dollar. If you're not familiar with the won, don't worry. It may look like you're holding a mountain of cash when you first convert, but once you get used to it, it all makes sense. Just remember, the number's going to look higher than you think, but once you convert it, it's all manageable. Now, handling your money in Seoul is pretty straightforward, but there are a few things you should know. First of all, cash is still king in many places. So, don't be that tourist who thinks every shop accepts card payments. Sometimes you'll be asked to fork over a fistful of won for that delicious tteokbokki, spicy rice cake. ATMs are available everywhere, but make sure the machine supports international cards before you start wildly pushing buttons. Nothing's worse than watching the machine eat your card like it's the latest Korean snack craze. If you're worried about carrying around too much cash, Seoul is pretty card-friendly, with most places accepting credit and debit cards. But, hey, a little bit of one in your pocket never hurt anyone. One last thing, apps. South Korea loves apps for everything, and payment is no different. You'll find apps like Kakao Pay and Naver Pay that allow you to make payments just by scanning QR codes. It's like the future of payments is happening right now, and your cash is kind of like that old Nokia phone, still functional, but maybe not as cool as the new tech. So, be sure to download these apps before you go to avoid that, "oh no, I'm stuck" moment when you're about to order a coffee and your card won't swipe. Alright, now that we've got your wallet sorted, it's time to talk about keeping yourself safe and healthy during your adventure in Seoul. Let's jump into tip number 10, stay safe and healthy. Tip 10. Stay safe and healthy. Alright, last but not least, let's talk safety and health. No one wants to go on a vacation only to end up with a bad case of the "I ate something weird and now I regret it" syndrome. South Korea is generally very safe, but as with any destination, you've got to keep your wits about you. First off, trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Stick to well-lit, busy areas, especially at night. And remember, Seoul is a big city, so use common sense, don't wander into alleys thinking you're on a cool adventure. Trust me, the cool adventure ends with you regretting that late night, "I'm just going to see what's around the corner" decision. When it comes to health, South Korea has excellent medical care, so you're in good hands if you need it. But here's the thing, don't take your health for granted. Make sure you're up to date on any vaccinations, especially things like hepatitis A or typhoid. And if you're traveling from certain countries, you might even need a special health check or vaccination proof, so double check before you go. If you're one of those people who loves to drink the local tap water, you might want to stick to bottled water in Seoul, just to avoid the dreaded foreign stomach situation. Your digestive system will thank you later. Lastly, don't forget to invest in travel insurance. Yes, I know, it sounds like something your mom would remind you about, but hey, that's because she's right. Travel insurance isn't just for the "I might lose my luggage" moment. It covers health emergencies, missed flights, and even the "I dropped my phone in the river" scenario. It's basically a safety net for everything that could go wrong, so you can focus on enjoying Seoul instead of stressing about what ifs. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Plus, with all the money you're saving from not getting lost in translation with your credit card, you can afford it. Alright, you're now fully prepared to stay safe and healthy, but before we wrap up, I've got a bonus tip that could make your trip to Seoul even more epic. Bonus tip. Embrace the K-drama lifestyle. Alright, let's be real for a second. We've all watched a few too many K-dramas and secretly hoped our lives could be as stylish, dramatic, and well-lit as the characters. Here's the thing. When in Seoul, why not lean into it? Embrace the K-drama lifestyle, strolling through parks with a perfect windblown hairstyle, sitting in cozy cafes while reflecting on your life, even if you're just trying to figure out where to have dinner, and maybe even having your own dramatic slow-motion moment as you walk down the streets. Seoul is basically a live-action K-drama, and you're the main character. So, do yourself a favor and take that stroll down the Han River, or find a cafe with a beautiful view and have a totally character-building moment with your coffee. But beyond the fun of pretending to be in a K-drama, this bonus tip is about embracing the unique culture of Seoul and using it as a way to dive deeper into the city's charm. If you're feeling adventurous, take the time to visit locations made famous by your favorite dramas and take a picture. You're living the dream, after all. Or, better yet, channel your inner K-drama hero and strike a pose in one of the popular hangout spots of Seoul. You'll be walking around like you're in a K-drama montage, and trust me, it's going to be amazing. And the best part? By stepping into the shoes of a K-drama star, you're going to see Seoul in a whole new light. You'll appreciate the beauty of the city, from the modern, sleek architecture to the traditional temples tucked away in the nooks and crannies. So, go ahead, let your K-drama dreams come true while exploring all that Seoul has to offer. You never know, maybe you'll bump into a second lead character, or just a friendly local, who will help make your trip even more memorable. Just remember to keep it real. This is your adventure, not the script of a drama. Now that you're ready to live your best K-drama life in Seoul, it's time to wrap up this guide. Let's take a quick look back at all the essential tips to get you prepped for your epic adventure. So, there you have it. We've covered everything from understanding Seoul's cultural quirks to making sure you don't end up doing a solo dance performance in the subway. Unless you want to, of course. In case you've lost track, here's a quick recap of the 10 essential tips. Research local customs. Learn a few key phrases in Korean. Get your hands on a T-money card. Pack for the weather. Use public transportation like a pro. Bring a power adapter. Know your money. Stay safe. And, most importantly, be ready for an unforgettable adventure in Seoul. Easy, right? Well, kind of. But hey, you've got this. Now you're armed with all the info you need to navigate this amazing city like a seasoned pro. And don't forget, traveling to Seoul isn't just about ticking off tourist spots or mastering the subway system, though that's totally a flex. It's about soaking in the experiences, trying new foods, and stepping outside your comfort zone. Get ready to wander through vibrant markets, taste spicy noodles that will make your taste buds do the cha-cha, and maybe even karaoke your way into the hearts of the locals. Don't stress about the little details, just go with the flow, make memories, and embrace the chaos that is Seoul. Trust me, it'll all come together. Before you rush off to book your flights, or maybe just check out some amazing Korean dramas, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share your personal travel tips or hilarious Seoul stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your adventures or any tips I might have missed. Oh, and if you're itching to plan more travel, be sure to check out my other video, 20 Tanzania travel tips for first-time visitors, everything you need to know plus what to avoid. You won't regret it, promise. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next one.